Live from Whitney Media, 1460 WVOX, The Greenberg Report, with Greenberg Town Supervisor Paul Feiner. You can join in the conversation at 914-636-0110. Now on 1460 WVOX, here's Greenberg Town Supervisor Paul Feiner.
Good morning. I'm Paul Feiner. I'm the Greenberg Town Supervisor, and we have a really interesting program. Over the years, I've interviewed many people on WVOX, but one of the people who I feel is among the most passionate about his work is Bill Farber. Bill Farber is a professor at Mercy College. He's program director at the college, and has been passionate about helping veterans. And over the years, he has been successful in providing veterans with a fantastic opportunity, a scholarship opportunity where they could get great jobs and and learn about ways to become math teachers. So, Bill, thank you for joining us, and maybe you could tell us first a little bit about yourself and about the program.
Thank you so much for having me, Paul. We have a wonderful scholarship and career opportunity for qualified U.S. veterans and reservists. My name is Dr. Bill Farber. I'm an associate professor at the School of Education for Mathematics Education for Mercy College, and I am also a Navy veteran, served from 68 to 74. And we have a wonderful program. We call it From Military to Mercy College to Math Teacher. It's a program that provides veterans with a full scholarship in tuition support, valued at $32,800 to cover full cost of tuition for 36 graduate credits. It's very exciting. We graduated 2 cohorts from this program. Those student veterans are now in the classroom teaching in New York City, teaching in Yonkers, teaching in Westchester, and in high-need schools. And so it's two-pronged. It's helping the veterans, first of all, and second of all, filling the ranks of our mathematics teaching. We need teachers. There's a critical need for mathematics and science teachers out there. In my background, before I came to Mercy College, I was a teacher in New York City, taught mathematics for many years, and now it's time to give back. So this is a wonderful opportunity. It's a 14-month program. We're looking for 7 veterans. We have 3 already, and we're looking for 7 more to take advantage of this great opportunity. We have a partnership with the Yonkers Public Schools where we actually place each veteran while in the program in a internship in one of the high-needs high schools or middle schools. So there's tremendous professional support to prepare the teachers for their teacher certification and for the work world in teaching mathematics.
That's fabulous. I wanted to know what got you involved in what motivated you to apply for this grant opportunity.
So it dates back in when I was discharged from the United States Navy. I actually took some correspondence courses while I was aboard ship overseas, and mostly in mathematics. And I worked on taking courses. I was fortunate enough to get the GI Bill from the veterans, and was able to actually go through the entire journey. And so I saw that there is amongst the ranks of the veterans who have this wonderful experience, who who are qualified, who have leadership skills, management skills, organizational skills. I felt that it was time to give back and sort of emulate the journey that I actually took, going from the military to college to becoming a math teacher.
That's great. We have to take a break, and we'll be back with Professor William Farber, Program Director of Mercy College, and he's going to talk to us again in more detail about going from the military to Mercy College to becoming a math teacher. I'm Paul Feiner. We're going to be right back in about 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Now, back to the Greenberg Report on 1460 WVOX. Once again, here's Greenberg Town Supervisor Paul Feiner.
Hi, I'm Paul Feiner. I'm the Greenberg Town Supervisor, and my guest is Professor Bill Farber, who is at Mercy College, and we're talking about a scholarship opportunity. Before I forget, would you be able to give us contact information if people are interested in applying?
Absolutely. Okay, so please email me at wfarber, that's WFARBER, at mercy.edu. You can call my office at 914-674-7675. And it's important to note that this opportunity that was granted by the National Science Foundation to actually do another cohort, it's fantastic. It starts June 2nd of this year, and it's a 14-month program, and it ends in August. However, we have prided ourselves on tremendous support for each veteran, professional support to prepare each prospective teacher. Each veteran is actually assigned a mentor teacher in the Yonkers Public Schools, and will work with that teacher for 140 days of a clinical internship. And in addition to that, each student veteran is assigned an experienced mathematics educator from the college who visits the veteran on site practically 10 to 12 times. So there's a tremendous amount of support for each veteran. It's important to mention that once the veteran finishes the program, and it's a 14-month program, they do have a commitment from the National Science Foundation to teach at least 2 years in a high-needs school. So that is the commitment. We would love for them to, of course, make careers out of teaching mathematics, but the commitment is, after finishing the program, is to teach for 2 years. So this is a degree. It's a master's degree. It's a Master of Science in Mathematics Education that each candidate will be awarded at the end of the program, and certification. So they become a certified, licensed teacher, ready to be employed by a school.
And again, how many years have you been doing this? Because I know I've had you on the radio program a bunch of times.
Yes. So I've been doing this for 4 years, finished 2 cohorts. So this means that after a veteran finishes the program, we still have online follow-up support during the first and second years of teaching. So sharing of lesson plans, ideas, mathematical activities, assessment. All of these things are, in other words, the veteran is not just, okay, you're going to a school and you're going to teach. We still, we have a person that is the induction coordinator, we call it. Induction meaning they're going into the schools, and we still have a very close collaboration and educational partnership with that veteran.
Right. The question that I also have is, some of since you've done this for 4 years, have the initial graduates, and they made a two-year commitment. Have the initial graduates been permanently employed?
Well, in the first cohort, we had 5 veterans. It's a challenge to get the veterans, and I appreciate you having me on the show to spread the word. Out of the, I'd say, 11 to 12 veterans that we have that have gone through the program, probably around 80%, about 8 of the veterans are teaching. We have a veteran that was from the Army National Guard who was, you could imagine, called to duty in these times. So once that obligation is finished, that person will go back into a school.
So that's great. So an 80% success rate is actually very, very, very good. You also mentioned that to be part of this program, you need a bachelor's degree. So the participants already have had a college education. Any reason why, when the program, was originally started, that it wasn't available to veterans who did not have a bachelor's degree?
Well, it is a master's program, and therefore the minimum qualifications is a bachelor's degree, and that bachelor's degree should include a minimum of 24 credits in mathematics and a GPA of 3.0. So there are requirements, and we've had enlisted personnel come into the program who have had degrees, bachelor's degrees. We've had officers who were engineers, and of course we know that there is a correlation between, the mathematics and being an engineer. So if a veteran is short of the 24 credits in math, Mercy College does honor CLEP exams. A CLEP exam is from the College Board. It's an exam that a student can take and actually receive graduate credits for that exam. So there's a limited number of CLEP that is honored by Mercy College. So if a student veteran came in with, let's say, less than 24 credits, let's say 21 credits, that student can take a mathematics course through CLEP. I think it costs $90. I'm not sure, but it's very it's cost effective, and then be able to have those requisite courses to be able to get the 30 credits that they need for the state.
That is great. We have to take another break, and I'm Paul Feiner, Greenberg Town Supervisor. We'll be right back.
WVOX. Now back to the Greenberg Report on 1460 WVOX. Once again, here's Greenberg Town Supervisor Paul Feiner.
Good morning, Westchester. I'm Paul Feiner. I'm the Greenberg Town Supervisor, and my guest today is Bill Farber, and he is a professor at Mercy College and has a very, very exciting program that we've talked about over the years, veteran scholarships. where if you're a veteran and you want to become a math teacher, you could earn a Master of Science degree in mathematics education, and your tuition is, it's fully, covered. Professor Farber, could you tell us again how people could apply?
Please, if you are interested in coming into this wonderful program, contact me. My name is Dr. William Farber. I'm the program director at Mercy College for this program. The email address is wfarber, that's WFARBER, at mercy.edu. Telephone number is 914-674-7675.
Have you, over the years, this is a tough, career, and I'm wondering if you've had a difficult time or an easy time attracting students, and what you do to actually get the students enrolled.
It's extremely challenging. Yes, I have been outreaching to a multitude of veterans organizations, Wounded Warriors, Disabled American Veterans. All of these organizations I have been mass mailing AMVETS. There are hundreds of organizations, and I have been doing mass emailing to these organizations, and it is very challenging. It's not every veteran that gets separated that wants to become a math teacher. It's a niche. However, there are people out there, and we need to identify them. It is a very challenging recruit. So right now, how many do you have for the upcoming semester? And how many do you have enrolled in the program now? Okay, so far we have 3, a possibility of 4. I received a call yesterday. I've been getting some very good feedback from an organization known as Troops to Teachers, which is similar, offers their veterans, I think, a number of credits. And when I shared this program with Troops to Teachers, they were very magnanimous and receptive, and put our flyer on the newsletter, and we've been getting some calls. So we may have a 4th candidate, and it's a crunch. We'd love to get 10. I don't know if we will, but I'm optimistic.
How many do you have currently for this year?
So far, we have 3 and 1 possibility. So,
no, I'm talking about for the last year.
For June.
No, I'm talking about for 2020-21. How many did you have?
Oh, I'm sorry. We had 6.
That's great. So do they take courses with other students, or is the program just for them?
And that's a great question. There are courses that are unique to the veterans. Namely, we have they have an internship, and coupled with the internship is a consortium where I teach that course. It's a course about issues and problems in the classroom and classroom management and things like that. Those are earmarked for the veterans. However, some of the generic courses mainstream students are invited into those courses as well.
Right. You had mentioned that when people enroll in the program, there's a commitment, a 2-year commitment to be a math teacher in a school in a lower performing, say, school district. And I'm wondering if the teachers that they like it if they're pretty guaranteed employment after the 2-year period of time.
Well, so if the scenario is a person finishes our program, the program manager, Professor Rocco Grassi, works with me. He's a former principal in Yonkers. We have, we get calls from principals saying, do you have a math teacher, or we need a math teacher, or we have some turnover going on. And so we are fairly successful in helping the veteran get, land a position. And once they have a position, they're a paid pedagogue. They're a paid teacher, and they work in a school, and then they get the support, the induction support from us, and the support from the principal and assistant principal of the school. So it's up to them. They're a teacher now, so it's up to them whether they want to continue or get transferred to another school. These things, especially now with all of this online teaching and hybrid teaching, it's extremely challenging.
Right. In terms of, so they have also 140 days of clinical internships, which is actually, which is great. So, I mean, anyone who likes math, this is really a fabulous opportunity.
That 140 days, I'm so glad you brought that up, Paul, because that 140 days of clinical internships takes the place of the mainstream student usually has student teaching, which may encompass 6 weeks in one school and 7 weeks in another. This is practically an entire school year that the veteran is immersed into a school and, in our experience, was actually given the responsibilities of taking over a class or two under the tutelage of their mentor teacher. And
right now, I guess it's still hard to get jobs. So this is for a veteran who served the country. This is really a great opportunity because it's probably going to take a while for the economy to pick up, for there to be plentiful jobs, and this is an opportunity to get the scholarship. You participate in the program, and then you basically are pretty close to being guaranteed a job, which is amazing, really. Especially in math and science. That's right. True. And thank you for that. You sort of encapsulated the what we're looking for. And so yes, we're not so overly concerned with the veteran securing a position. We're concerned about the really going through the 14 months. It's a challenge because a person has to really, even though the tuition is waived for the program, the person needs subsistence allowance and needs to live, needs to transportation and all of that. So we found that it is also a challenge to be able to say, okay, can this person go through this program for 14 months? And by the way, those 2 years of the commitment to teach in a high-need school is anywhere in the country. The program is in Westchester County in Dobbs Ferry. The internship is in Yonkers Public Schools. However, the employment could be anywhere in the country as long as it's a high-need school. Many, many schools are high-need schools. Right. In terms of when we were talking about, the funding, the students only get the tuition, but does that cover, books also? Okay, we have been very lucky in looking at, of course, with every award from an organization, whether it's the state or the feds,
there's a budget. And we have been very lucky in being able to allocate money for the veterans for books. So we've been pretty lucky in helping out regarding, getting veterans at least some relief from, the expense of books. Other than that, we encourage books, and there's online books, and those are a little more less expensive. So we really do our best to try to help as much as we can internally regarding, the expenses. However, the living expenses, that may come from the VA. So if a person is under, for example, the vocational rehabilitation program, perhaps has a service-connected disability and wants to get into the program, they could take their benefits from the VA regarding all of the ancillary needs of the veteran other than tuition.
Paul Fine, we have to take a break now, and we'll be right back in a couple minutes with Bill Farber, and we're talking about a great program that the Mercy College is offering.
Thank you.
WVOX.
1460 WVOX.
Now back to the Greenberg Report on 1460 WVOX. Once again, here's Greenberg Town Supervisor Paul Finer.
Hi, this is Paul Finer. I'm the Greenberg Town Supervisor. And today we have a really interesting program. I'm interviewing Dr. Bill Farber, who is telling us about a tuition-free scholarship opportunity for military veterans. And Dr. Farber, thank you so much for telling us about this wonderful program for veterans who want almost guaranteed job if they go through the program. I'm wondering, you mentioned and before, why don't you tell us once again how people could apply for the program or learn more about the program?
Okay, so thank you again for having me on and for being receptive to this program and so supportive of our veterans, Paul. So I'm Professor William Farber. I'm the program director of this Military to Mercy College to Math Teacher program, sponsored by the National Science Foundation. And my email address is wfarber, that's WFARBER, at mercy.edu. And telephone number is 914-674-7675. And if I may, there is an actual YouTube promotional that we did. If you would go, if anybody listening out there would go onto YouTube and just put in Veterans to Math Teachers, our program, Mercy College's program, pops up right away. So, and it gives all of the details of, information on how to contact me, etc.
That is great. If somebody, one of the problems with education right now is, it is expensive, and you mentioned that this only covers tuition. If somebody, do the students have to work full-time as a student, or are there opportunities for them while they're taking the classes to work part-time, or even extend the time that they can participate in this program?
Great question. So I will give you some scenarios. We had a veteran come from Kansas to New York, and made his life in New York, and completed the program successfully. And while he was doing that, he was driving an Uber. He was tutoring students in math. He made ends meet through that. We had other candidates in the program that were 25 to 30-year military veterans who earned a pension from the military, and so were able to subsist in the 14 months without any monetary issues. But yes, the veteran could work. We do not have classes on weekends. It's a rigorous program where they have to go to the Yonkers schools every day and teach classes, and then in the evening take courses at Mercy College in the Dobbs Ferry campus.
Right. In terms of the program, are most of the students that you've had who took advantage of this from Westchester?
I would say probably 50% of the students. I would say 6 were from out of town, but out of town could mean from New Jersey. We had a person from New Jersey, a person from Kansas, as I mentioned, a person from Jamaica, not Jamaica, Queens. Jamaica, who was in the military. But we did also have people from Westchester, recent graduates, especially from Westchester, and are presently teaching in the Bronx and in Manhattan.
That is, great. Also, we didn't discuss the minimum qualifications to get involved in this program.
So a bachelor's degree is required because this is a master's program. So a bachelor's degree, including a minimum of 24 credits in mathematics and a GPA, that's a grade point average of 3.0. There's also in any graduate program an entrance, it's sort of like the SATs, but it's called either the GRE's Graduate Record Exam or the Praxis. So those, one of those two exams, I would probably recommend the Praxis. It's a little more tolerable than the GREs for a person coming into the program. And graduate admissions requires that, and so the 24 credits we offer. We advise prospective students, if they don't have the 24, if they're close to the 24, to perhaps take a CLEP exam, which Mercy honors. I believe it's up to 9 credits of CLEP.
I just had a question in terms of the GPA, averages. Do colleges sometimes look the other way with minimum qualifications if students attend, say, a higher, more difficult college? Let's say somebody goes to a college that is much higher ranked, say, Columbia or an Ivy League school, and they have, say, a 2.5, and somebody, goes to a school that doesn't have the same reputation, and they have a 3.0. Will the student from a higher, more prestigious college be disqualified if they don't meet the 3.0?
Well, I don't know if I'm so equipped to answer that question, but I will answer it the following way. We look at the whole person. Okay, and if there's a 2.9, I'm not going to say I can't speak for any other higher education institution, but I can speak for a person that has, been doing engineering for a number of years in the armed forces, and we look at, all avenues regarding the whole person rather than to just concentrate on a particular number. But we do have this minimum qualification. As I said, the credits we look at, we're a little flexible. We will allow the CLEP with the GPA. That it's case-by-case basis, Paul.
Right. If people would like to, they're not sure if this program is for them, are you available to, speak to them and, what should they do?
Okay, so my contact information is the key. They can contact me. I will get right back to them. I'll give that to you again if you don't mind. Again, my name is Dr. William Farber, and Mercy College, and my email is wfarber, that's WFARBER, at mercy.edu, and telephone number is 914-674-7675. What happens when a person contacts me and expresses an interest in a program, I request that that person send student copies of transcripts, also a resume, and we have this application form just for demographics. So there's just a few things that the prospective student needs to send us, so we can have a committee to review the transcripts, count the number of math credits, see what the GPA is, and we are in very close touch with the person who contacts us.
Great. We only have a couple seconds left, and I just wanted to know if there's anything that we didn't touch on during the program that you'd like to mention.
I think that we touched on all. The main thing is that we start June 2nd, and that's right around the corner. So hopefully your listeners, I know that everybody knows a veteran, and those veterans know other veterans. So this would be a wonderful opportunity for you out there to be able to share this with any organization or any veteran who has recently been separated from the military and would love to have a conversation with that veteran.
I just want to thank you for joining us. I mentioned that we're so fortunate to have people like yourself in the academic world and in public service. You're a real asset to Westchester and to veterans and to Mercy College and to the town of Greenberg.
Appreciate your kind words and your constant support for veterans, Paul. And this is wonderful, and thank you for the opportunity to share this wonderful program.
Thank you. I'm Paul Feiner, Greenberg Town Supervisor.